Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to tonight's late night Q&A with ZodWriter. This is episode 41, and with me tonight, I have the honor of hosting someone who is awesome, and I'm like super excited to have him here. This is Mr. Akuma Rev from Put Your Quarters on the Glass. Finally, we've made it happen. Welcome, man. How are you doing?
Thank you, Zod. I appreciate it, man. You can call me Nick. It's okay, man. No worries.
All right,
No
all
worries.
right, Nick. I you know what? I love this. I just love, the fact that you're here. Lately, I've been on quite a little run interviewing different people from, within the home arcade community and stuff, and it gets me really excited because I love this community so much. And you, man, the stuff that you've been able to do with Put Your Quarters on the Glass, it's just fantastic, dude. That whole
Thank you, man.
community's got me excited. I'm like sitting here like I'll watch your videos and listen to your commentary and be super pumped and excited. And my thing is I don't, because I don't have a big blue, I can't really participate in those tournaments. But that Mortal Kombat machine is coming, and when that happens, I think it'll be nice. It'll be nice to finally participate here. Jesse Allen says, "Let's go." We've got Jesse Allen in the chat. What's up, man? What's up? And we've got Console Fanboy saying, "Wow," and saying this should be good. Well, it definitely should be good because anytime you get Akuma Rev on a live stream, it's pretty damn awesome.
Careful, man. I need a low bar of expectations, my friend.
You know what? There's no low bar. Everybody that I know in the home arcade community has nothing but great things to say about you, man. And that's something that I love to see. I love to see when so many people and people that are good and people that have the best of intentions get looked at as positive forces within the community. I mean, my God, dude, like what you're doing is basically bringing back the tournament aspect of fighting on, of fighting games, arcades, and things that we haven't had since the late 80s or 90s. I mean, it's insane, dude. Like I'm gonna get into all that. I kind of, all the main stuff I want to ask you about.
I got
like
PTO tomorrow, dude. So you got me as late as you want me, bro.
How you started and all that. I mean, normally I don't go too late with these Q&As. It's usually about an hour, maybe two. But the thing is I feel so excited being able to reach out to all you guys because as of right now, I've never had anybody from the home arcade community that I've interviewed on these late night Q&As say no. Everybody's always been open and willing to come on. And, I was super excited to talk to you. I know like last year, towards the end of last year, I was like, my God, I got to get, people kept saying, you got to get Akuma Rev. You got to get Akuma Rev. And I was like, yeah, I mean, that's something we definitely gotta make happen. And this has just been a total blast. And Sickness says, Zod, what's up? Hope you're doing well, brother. And there's Sickness here. We got Console Fanboy says, when is Rev going to be interviewed by Jimmy Fallon?
No, man. It's honestly, I was watching your stuff before you were watching mine. I love your topics. I love you've had some firecracker episodes, man. That really, there was a few that I was sleeping and I woke up in the morning and I kicked myself for going to bed for missing some of your streams because you're on the West Coast. So for me, the time difference is a little rough, and I'm an old man. I got to get up at banker hours usually. So, but I love your streams, man. So I appreciate being here. Thank you, man. It's
well, I don't know, man. I think we're in the same time zone because I'm in Central Time.
Are you?
So I try to. Yeah, I'm in Illinois, so I'm in Central.
Dude, yeah, we're not far off then.
Okay. So I didn't know. Like with you, most people, that I interview that have been within the arcade community, it seems like people are on the West Coast or whatever. I know Rexer and I think Ralph, Retro Ralph. I think he's in California now. I know he was in Michigan before. I don't know. Like all these people are just all over the map. So yeah. I'm kind of just trying to adjust to everybody.
Well,
so
we're good, bro. Going forward, we're good, baby. We're good.
That's works, awesome. Man. And we got my good friend Zeverfett in the chat. Pow. What's up, Zeverfett? Good to see you. We've got Kong's our Rust here. Kong. Kong is awesome.
I want a promotion tour, man. I'm trying to make sure people know.
We're gonna. It's my goal. I got to get Kong's R Us on here too. One of these nights. I'm like hoping to do that soon. That's like something that I want to plan at some point. Kong says awesome. Here, Rev is everywhere these days. Love you, bro. And you know what? Late night Q&A would not be complete without the appearance of the great Sharon Peters. She comes to all these streams. She's awesome. She says no softball questions tonight, Zod. We want to know what makes Rev tick. Start by asking him who his favorite porn star is. Well, I guess we could start with that. Who's your favorite porn star, Rev?
It's a good question. I don't know the fourth one down. Usually the fourth or fifth one down. It's usually my favorite. So I don't know, man. It's a good time.
That's a good. I mean, that's a good question.
I'm not picky, man. Like
I've never started off a stream like that, but that's a good question.
Yeah, no, legit. I'm just trying to think. Like if I had, God, I saw her when I was 18 at my friend's birthday. She was like the mega star back then. So like when I was, we saw her in Hollywood. God, Jenna Jameson. There it is.
Oh, Jenna Jameson. Okay.
Yeah, that was cool. That was a great moment. I was 19. My buddy Adam turned 18. And we were like, bro, it's going down tonight. And sure enough, it was a wild time.
And I want to thank you, Console Fanboy. Console Fanboy's here with a $4.99 super chat. He says, Rev is like Jesus. If you see Jesus, do you need him to say anything? No, you're just happy that he's in your presence. So there you go.
Don't say that, man.
That is an awesome super chat, Console Fanboy. Much appreciated. And let's see what we got here. We've even got let's see, we got Zeverfed here saying good day to Jesse. And we got Console Fanboy saying he's in Arizona. I think you're talking about Retro Ralph.
Yeah, I think he's in Arizona. Yeah.
And Sharon Peters says, but you don't believe in Jesus, Console Fanboy. Let's see. We've got
Is it possible that Sharon Peters could not be Console Fanboy? That was a close chat there. If you look at the timestamps, how fast those came through.
I like to think that Sharon Peters is just Sharon Peters. I don't.
Yeah, maybe there's a real Sharon Peters.
I really don't like to think that Sharon Peters is somebody, like somebody catfishing, pretending to be somebody she isn't. Right. I would love to find out that Sharon Peters is just Sharon Peters, and that's the way that I want to believe. Even if Sharon Peters is somebody else, I don't want to know. I just want to believe that Sharon Peters is Sharon Peters because she's got like a great sense of humor. She always brings the funny comments.
It's very true.
And the thing is, she's very loyal, to all our streams. She comes to all our stuff. So
she does love some John B too.
Listen, dude. Yeah, and there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, hey, that's cool. I mean, I have no issues with that whatsoever. I have no issues with her wanting to be a John D side chick. I have no issue with that at all. That's cool. I mean, hey, whatever makes you happy in this life, because this life is stressful enough. Listen, amen. I saw two YouTubers whom I respect dearly arguing about plywood this week. Now I'm gonna just say, if there's anything out there that how you know that the world is going crazy is when you have two awesome YouTubers who do arcade content arguing about plywood.
Let me propose this perspective to you though, my friend. I'm actually grateful for it. In the grand scheme of things right now. Two YouTubers arguing over plywood with people making other videos and content to kind of stoke the flame. I'm not stoking the flame. Dude, at the end of the day, with all the shit happening in the world, man, I'm glad that some of it's a little bit tongue-in-cheek, lighthearted. And I hope these guys don't, I hope everybody can move past it, right? Like that's one thing. At the end of the day, like you said, you bring it to the arcade and you play the guy, right? Let's play
play
together. Let's play against each other.
Let's play together. Yes.
Get them quarters on the glass, baby.
Yes. And you know, I swear to God, I'm feeling like one thing that's irritating me more than anything else is, you know how like towards the end of last year, all those great arcade 1-up countercades came out. We had Ninja Turtles, we had Mortal Kombat, we had X-Men versus Street Fighter. We had all these great countercades. Why are none of those countercades Wi-Fi enabled?
Because they're smart.
You should be able to. I mean, my thing is, if you want to build this arcade community,
hold on. Zod, let's go back for a second, okay? Let's take it back to Zod, like when Zod was 19 and Zod had that perfect little prom date, that perfect little homecoming queen where everything was just so tight. When she bounced, you heard the little squeaky sound, right? Now, did you go right in there and just and give it everything it got, or did you finesse it? Did you make sure that you took it out?
I see where you're going. I see where you're going there.
You played miniature golf on Saturday. You took it on Wednesday over to the Olive Garden. Like, they're smart because here's their approach, man. They're going to milk all of these IPs because, one, they have to produce the IPs under contract over every certain amount of years. For the same reason why Sony has to keep rehashing Spider-Man. You're going to see Arcade 1-Up rehashing Pac-Man because they have to hold on to the license. Otherwise, the last thing they want is Jean coming in and being like, "Oh, I got Pac-Man. Thank you." That's the worst thing they could ever do, is lose some of those staple IPs that we make fun of them for. But man, they sell them like crack on a corner. It's ridiculous.
I will agree.
So going to your point about the countercades, it's inevitable. It's just a matter of time. You notice the original 3 Force cabinets didn't have a Wi-Fi either. But they produce them in a way that enables the crack habit to continue. And we're the problem because we're the addicts that keep going back. You'll notice my selection is very limited. I don't lack discipline, right? Like, I keep to my lane. Like, I really try. Plus, my wife would cut my nuts off. Let's be real. So there's no doubt about that. But, you know, man, they're smart. And I have no doubt let's be real, like 2023, right? Because this year is going to be interesting. I really think this year is going to be interesting. There's going to be a lot of supply chain disruptions that I'm forecasting, and I'm doing it ignorantly with a crystal ball that I don't have. But I could see a world where they're hedging their bets this year. They probably got to up their ante. You know, Scott's looking for an IP. He wants an IPO. You know, he wants to make sure that when he goes public, that initial trade offering is huge. You know, he wants to make sure that he can get that, like, whatever it is, 5 million units or 7 million units, whatever their target is for 2022 from their board of directors. Scott's going to hustle his ass off and sell Pac-Man toilet paper that's Wi-Fi enabled. If it makes it wipe your ass and go nom, 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 and you buy it, shit, he'll sell it to you, right? Because he knows.
That's
so
good.
Those guys are doing a smart job by parsing it out and not giving you everything right away. Because then once you have it all, well, shit, now we got to go back.
You know what, Rev, you've convinced me. I'll never bring it up again, dude. I get what you're saying. I totally, that totally makes sense. It totally makes sense when you put it in that perspective. But what I was talking about was just the fact that those countercades were like literally just released a few months ago.
I know.
And now and now it's like the whole online community is becoming such a thing that it's kind of that's the perspective I was thinking about it from. I wasn't thinking about it from the one.
Oh, dude, they'll get there, because here's the idea, right? Like, we're in all likelihood, let's be real. Like, the size of the community is probably 125 players, and I don't know, maybe let's just say 1,000 people who watch. So with that, it's a small number. But when they open up international markets down in South America, and they can sell a countercade for however, whatever, 10,000 pesos or whatever it is down in the whatever countries, I swear to God, huge Street Fighter communities down there. Oh, yeah. So like those countercades will sell like firecrackers down there, man. It'll be crazy. They'll go off the shelves, and it'll be interesting because here we're going to still have our 3 Force cabs. So what are they going to introduce to us? Sure, they'll give us countercades, but they know what we want. we don't want that little tiny crack rock. No. We want that big ass 8-ball Pro Series cab, right? Like that's what they're going to give America.
Yeah.
I mean,
the 350-pound arcade cabinet with
you know what I'm saying,
with the CRT.
Right?
Inside.
You assholes asked for it. You got it. Here you go.
And Sharon Peters says, I love all D, not just John D. Well, Sharon, I can't really. You got to
get her on. You got to get her on Zod's couch.
That would be fun. It would be fun to get Sharon Peters on for a late night Q&A, because you know what's funny about that? That would end all the speculation. No, people would no longer be like, oh, Sharon Peters is Zohar. Sharon Peters is this person. Sharon Peters is that person. All that would be gone, because awesome. Sharon would be Sharon, live and in the flesh. Let's see. And Mike of all trades, what's up, brother? Says, LOL, all D. Aldi. And we've got Twisted Gaming says, nice roasting earlier mode. Okay.
Oh man, Kong stream was just insane.
Yeah, there's so many great streams that have been happening throughout this community over just the last couple of months, and like I said, I'm still totally jazzed about two YouTubers fighting over plywood. That to me is just like a level of insanity that is just it's just funny on all cylinders, because you can't really take that serious. Two people ready to go to blows over plywood. Like, dude, I hate you. I never want to see you on my channel again. We're done, dude. It's like, bro, it's plywood, dude. It's literally a piece of wood. And
I think, don't get me wrong, man. I think, I think I don't, the idea of it, there's always something going on, right? But there's opportunities, man. And that's kind of what I really like about it, right? Like there's, can we, what is it? Can you take chicken shit and turn it into chicken salad? Like that old phrase. So like, you have situations that occur, and and oxygen doesn't need to be given to all fire, right? And certain fires can burn out really quick. Sure. And if you don't pay attention to them, they tend to. And we have attention spans like goldfish generally. So in this community,
I agree.
Right. In this community, some announcement's going to come along that will draw attention. Thank God Arcade 1UP will, release another cabinet that doesn't have this or has that, or, iArcade releases another game that from 1972 or whatever, that, there'll be something to talk about that will draw the attention of the masses over in another direction.
You've hit the nail, man, right there where you said that. It's like, dude, we've always got something. I was talking to my father about this earlier before the show. I called him up and I asked him, because I was trying to understand the differences between the plywood and the MDF that they were arguing about. So I called my father and I'm like, could you explain this to me a little bit, Dad? Because I don't really know. My dad's all into that. He'll be able to tell me. So he was kind of explaining it to me a little bit, but I was like, Dad, you don't understand. They're arguing about this. This is literally like a thing. Like, this is like, I just had this. And so I started thinking to myself, I started looking at the iArcade, and I was like, well, the iArcade feels to me like it has a stronger foundation than an Arcade 1UP. Yeah, like an Arcade 1UP in terms of, I guess in terms of wood. I mean, we're talking a lot about wood right now, so I don't know, but I'm just like, it's interesting though. It's a complex little thing, but I'm just fascinated by it all, because again, I didn't know the first thing about it. I was legitimately confused, and I asked, and I even asked 1UP. I'm like, can you explain this to me? Because I have no idea. Like, I am literally trying to figure it out. Like, is MDF more expensive than plywood? I'm assuming that's.
Dude, I'm a monkey. I have no clue. Like, yeah, I'm legitimately. I don't know. I'm blessed to not know in most cases, right? Because I think there's there's a better use of my brain power. But I think, you know, I don't know, man, whatever, right? Like at the end of the day, you know,
I think we're all
it's toys. It's toys, man. You know,
yeah. And now that's a good question I got for you. Do you consider these home arcades? Do you consider them toys?
Sure, man. It's something that you play with, right?
It's almost like, okay, like someone says, the saying goes, the only thing that separates men,
a man and a boy.
The difference between a man and a boy is the cost of his toys.
That's right.
And I agree with that now more than ever. Now I got to ask you another question. I was talking to my father about, and I said, I think that because of all the stuff that we're going through, where we've all been kind of contained, and we've all been kind of in a situation where, you don't really go out much. There's a lot going on now. All this stuff with these arcade cabinets, do you think it's creating a form of like cabin fever? Because I'm going to tell you something. I've been looking around my apartment. I have a small apartment. I mean, we're talking small, and I've got, as of right now.
Where are you at in Chicago? Like Emory Park?
I'm in Homewood, okay. Illinois. It's a small suburb in Chicago, near Chicago. I've literally right now got 5 arcade cabinets in my small apartment. And I was telling my father about, Jason's third floor arcade, and all the cabinets that Jason has, and how he does these beautiful like showcases, and he showcases the cabinets like cars. And I'm looking, but then as I was talking to him, Rev, I'm looking around, realizing that because I live in a small place, I've essentially got the equivalent of 30 cabs for my small little apartment. I'm looking around, I'm like,
yeah,
I got a lot of cabs too.
My friend, I recommend a gentleman by the name of Mad Dad's Gaming has a video on how to condense PCBs into one cab, and it's worth your 20 minutes or whatever it is, man. I'm telling you, I feel you. A guy's in the East Coast. Like, we got a guy, Morph, who's one of the top players in the RFGC in Marvel versus Capcom, and you swear to God, this poor bastard's outside of New York on one of those cat lines, or whatever, those catwalks outside the apartments, right? Like, he's just stacked and packed elbows to assholes with his walls on either side, and he's a big guy. I feel you, man. I feel you. You gotta get a power drill out and get that bitch down to one cabinet, man.
And Twisted Gaming with the $4.99 super chat. Thank you, Twisted Gaming. He says Twisted Gaming promo drop revealed tomorrow night at the Waffle House.
That's true, dude. I got a lot of special stuff coming out tomorrow, man.
I'm super amped. I'm super excited. It's gonna be dope. It's gonna be dope. I'm gonna try to get to most of your comments here, because a lot of you guys are commenting, and I'm grateful for that. All these questions and stuff, and you guys have really been making me feel like I know what the hell I'm doing when you guys come in here and ask this kind of stuff. We've got Gary here. He says, "Can Rev give me an answer to the comment that I left on his YouTube post about us wanting to use the name Put Your Wieners on the Glass for a segment we're doing for a dating game?"
So you know who Gary Delabate is? He's the executive producer for the Howard Stern show. So I really highly doubt that the guy who is the executive producer, who's using an old picture of Gary, by the way, but the executive producer for the Howard Stern show would be reaching out to my sorry ass with less than 1,000 subs.
I will
ask
say
about
this,
but
Rev, I will say this. You would be surprised. There are people. I mean, I've had it happen where I've had famous people in my chat, and it turns out that it really is. It's weird.
I'm not that good,
and I'm not saying that you're wrong about Gary here, but my whole take on that is to never dismiss anything because you never know. It is really, especially in this day and age where everything is digital, social media, and
I hate my goddamn camera. Sorry.
I was like, oh my God, Rev, he went dark for a moment. What
It
happened?
looks good, but the thing likes to take a sleeper for 30 minutes. I haven't Googled how to turn that off. Sorry, guys.
We've got Super King 64 saying,
That's
what's
King
up,
of Kings
everybody?
right there, baby.
What's
That's
going on, man? And we've got Retro here saying south side.
Yeah, I'll tell you this, Mr. Delabate, if you truly are, go ahead and contact my manager. She'll vet you through.
Well, don't you have an email for on your YouTube channel for people that want to seriously inquire?
Yeah, no, you can go to my channel, and if you look on there, my email is in the description. So if they're serious, they'll go ahead and contact my manager, and she'll set up a meeting.
It is what it is, Papa Brad's Gaming. I'm sitting here like looking around at all my cabs, thinking, well, gee, I got a little bit of an addiction too.
So hold on, man. Let's talk really quick. Let's talk for 1 second. What cabs do you have?
I have an MVSX. I have an iArcade.
Okay.
I have a Play Minimal Mortal Kombat machine.
Okay.
I have a Bobby Vu. I have an original Vucade. Bobby made me a bar top, a Mortal Kombat 1 bar top, which is great.
That's beautiful.
And I have the recently acquired 30th anniversary Mortal Kombat 1 micro arcade cabinet that's about 2 feet tall from Arcade Mod Up.
I'm noticing a theme there. I'm noticing a theme there, my friend.
Yes, there is a theme. I am a big Mortal Kombat nut. Mortal Kombat 1. Not Mortal Kombat 2, 3, 4, 5, whatever. Mortal Kombat 1, the original Mortal Kombat
2 was amazing.
But Mortal Kombat 1 is my jam. I just gotta be. I just gotta admit it. I mean, I love that game, and I'm sitting here like jonesing for the arcade 1-up Mortal Kombat with Wi-Fi. I'm sitting here like, I want to play. I want to put my quarters on the glass. That's what I'm thinking about, because I consider myself to be pretty good at that game. Now I may be like a legend in my own mind, but Johnny Cage is my favorite character, and I'm pretty good with Johnny Cage. Okay. So I am very, very eager to test my skills against people in the community. Now, I'm not cutting any promos or doing anything goofy, but I'm just saying, I know my stuff when it comes to that character. Now, I feel like I'm a little bit one-dimensional though, Rev, because if I were to switch and play with Sub-Zero, I'd get my ass kicked.
You're a character player.
Yeah.
So am I.
I could have just if the only character I was allowed to play as in Mortal Kombat 1 was Johnny Cage,
you're good.
Perfectly fine.
Fair enough. I can respect that.
So
here's my question. How do you handle fighting Sonya when you can't even do the cooch chop? Like, you go down and you stand back up. You don't got an attack. There's no clam slam going on, bro. You're missing an entire free attack because she's a female.
I think that's great, though.
She's gonna counter you, bro. She's gonna get you with that
and she could do that. She could do that. She could do that leg thing, and that leg thing was really when I interviewed Josh, the director of Insert Coin. We talked a lot about that Insert Coin Midway documentary that he'd made, and we talked a lot about the play mechanics of the original Mortal Kombat. And yeah, Sonya was one of the characters that had that leg thing that was indisputable. You could not beat it no matter what you did, man, if you got caught in it. But
it was good cheese. Yep.
And absolutely. And Sharon Peters says it's true, Moat. I've handled more cock than a retired chicken farmer. Okay, Sharon, that's
my Lord.
That's a lot of information there. And Retro Machine says, Zod, let's hit up Galloping Ghost. Oh yeah, that'd be fun. I haven't been to an actual physical arcade since I was a teenager. So
it's been too long, man. Too long for me as well.
Oh my God. And we've got Sean Henderson here. He says, could I get a shout out for my friends Isaac and Peggy?
Yeah, absolutely. Shout out Isaac. Shout out Peggy.
Shout out to Isaac and Peggy. Cool,
whoop,
no
whoop.
problem. Love you guys. All right, cool, no problem.
Appreciate
it. Sharon Peters says, "Is that the real Boba Booey?
Baba Booey. Baba Booey.
Baba Booey. Okay,
that's Gary Delabonte. He's got so many derogatory names. It's unbelievable. Fafafui. Yeah, dude. If he's real, let him get a hold of me through other means, not through a comment on my YouTube channel. Get a hold of me through Twitter or something.
Let's see.
The Vucade. Let me ask you, Zod. Here's why I watch you. This is and I want to know. You get buck wild on this DC universe thing, bro. You go hard down the rabbit hole on the DC universe.
When I talk about DC, I get in trouble.
You get emotional too.
I've gotten to the point where I'm kind of trying to veer away from it because I get so emotionally invested in it. I'm to the point where I don't even a YouTube channel recently, about a month or so ago, did a video on me where they took one of my streams and they tore me up, and
because you gave your opinion,
and well, they had all kinds of reasons. They were like basically they took the video and they basically were like plowing through it, trying to find things to complain about. It was really bizarre. But here's the thing that hurt people. That I've come to realize. This is the thing I've come to realize. If I cover the DC stuff too much, I'm gonna get emotional about it. I'm gonna get angry about it. I'm gonna get upset about it. So I've tried to kind of, veer away from it and focus more on things that I'm good at doing and things that I enjoy doing. More like this late night Q&A.
You're staying positive, man.
I love that. I love to be positive. I love to interview. I love to have discussions about like how we're talking right now. It just makes me feel good. And if I'm not, and the way my philosophy has always been, if I'm not enjoying doing something, it's time to stop doing it. And for something as passionate and as big of a DC fan as I am, I'm not saying I'm never going to cover it anymore, but it's just the fact that, sometimes you got to step away from something that you're super, super passionate about if it brings you to an emotional level where every time you talk about it, you got people calling you out. You kind of just gotta like back away and be like, all right, I'm good. I've said my piece, and that's kind of. But see, this is what I love about the home arcade community. The home arcade community for me has kind of become like a safe space, because when I come here and I see people fighting about plywood, I feel good about the arguments I was getting into with people. It makes me feel great because I'm like, well, gee, it could be worse. I could be arguing about plywood.
Yeah, I know.
I don't know. I'm just super. And again, like what you're doing, man, I gotta know, man, what made you decide to start Put Your Quarters on the Glass? Could you give me a bit of, and give some of my viewers who might not know who you are, a little bit of your origin story, so to speak?
Yeah. I crash landed in an Iowa farm, and
awesome.
and two farmers took me in, Martha and Jonathan, and they were great people. No, man, I grew up in the arcade culture, man, in the 80s and the 90s, and very much like very much arcade culture in the 90s, right? Like the hardcore Street Fighter culture. Like back before there was Evo and the big championships that you see on like ESPN and stuff. So I wound up falling out of that after college, and just fell into Azeroth, and just landed in the middle of Azeroth for a decade and a half or whatever. So once, whatever, life goes a million different directions, family, career, etc. Moving here, moving there. It was 2020, and I was do you know what Warhammer is?
Isn't that one of those multi online role playing games?
No, that's WoW. That's another thing. But Warhammer's like a tabletop turn-based strategy game where you roll dice and little models and you measure out stuff and you kill their toys with your toys, right? So it's like picture GI Joes with rules, right, on a big old 6x4 table, and you're like, okay, so my Destro kills your Duke, right? Fun shit. But anyways,
so like almost like Battleship.
Yes, except way more advanced, way more advanced, like insane more rules. Check it out, Warhammer, if you really want to smoke some good plastic crack. Remember, Matt? You ever play Magic the Gathering? Or hear of that?
A long time ago, yeah.
Card games.
I tried it once, and it wasn't for me. I walked out of the room.
Oh, you're smart. You got out of that, dude. I smoked Magic for years.
Because these guys that I were playing with were so, like, I don't know what the word would be. They were very analytical, and they were real methodical about it, and it was just kind of like it was real life.
I call that pussy repellent.
And I got up from the table. It's so funny that you say that. Because I actually got up from the table, left there, and then went out with my girlfriend at the time. That's perfect that you said that, because that's exactly what it is. You're sitting at the table, and you're listening to these guys. The horse is sinking. What do we do? Hurry up! Use the magic spell. Use the lasso. Perhaps the lasso can get the horse out of the mud. And they're like talking about it, like they're talking about it all dramatically, commentating it like a football game. And then the next thing you know, it's like, we save the horse, and it's like this big, and it's like this big, like, phenomenal achievement,
man. That's epic.
And I'm just like, all right. Thanks, dudes. Thanks, but no thanks. I'm out of here.
not the crack for Zod. I feel
no. And you know what was funny? It was me and a group of guys playing it at a comic book shop.
Yeah,
the local comic book shop.
Oh yeah.
And at this local comic book shop, these guys would get together like every Wednesday night or Wednesday afternoon, and they would play this. And you'd sit at this table while they were playing Magic, and they would have 80s cartoon themes playing in the background. So you'd hear Thundercats, you'd hear He-Man, you'd hear Transformers. It would be a real, but it was real like a real nerd experience. And I'm glad that I had the experience. But like you said, it just wasn't the thing for me. And we've got a super chat here from Console Fanboy again saying, when I get the MK30th online cab, I quit my job.
He's gonna fake a work comp injury and get out on some California disability,
so he could play online, so he could be the tournament champion. Listen, me and Zohar are gonna start a team when this. Are gonna start a tag team when this Capnick comes out, because Mortal Kombat is our game. That's our game. I can't see. This is the thing. I couldn't justify buying a Big Blue because I'm not that good at Street Fighter. I would get killed. The only character that I play with any regular, I love Street Fighter, don't get me wrong, but the only character I play with any regularity is Ken. And to be honest with you, I'm still not very good with Ken. I would get killed every single match. I'd be one of those people where it would be like, I might as well just stand there and just let people pummel me, because I don't know the first thing about playing.
See, I can respect the discipline though, right? Like, you recognize, hey, that's not my lane. And I can respect that. That's cool, man. Like, and here's the thing though, dude. It will be I guarantee you, when it's $125 at Kohl's and you get $60 in Kohl's cash back, you're gonna be like, maybe I'll get a countercade, right? Like a countercade Big Blue with Wi-Fi makes sense. They'll get there. They will, man. I have no doubt.
Yeah. And I'm going to be honest with you. Like, I like Killer Instinct, but I'm not the biggest Killer Instinct fan.
Same.
You know what version of Killer Instinct I play all the time, and I even have it on my little Play Minimal cabinet? I play the Super Nintendo arcade remaster that came out last year. And a hacker group got together and basically put all the stuff from the arcade version of Killer Instinct that was taken out of the arcade version. They put it all back in to the Super Nintendo version. So now the Super Nintendo version is essentially
the arcade,
like a mini version of the arcade version. I mean, it's literally it's
Do you
authentic.
have a Super Nintendo?
No. I play the ROM on my cabinet on my.
See, I'm not smart enough to do that stuff, dude. I don't like any of that. Like anytime, I can't.
It is.
Turbo Joe is saying that. You say open a file, and I'm like, huh?
You could. I don't know. You could probably buy a cartridge version now if you have a Super Nintendo. There's probably a version on eBay or something somewhere. But all I'm saying is
back alley.
I actually really like it. I actually really like it a lot, and sure. I don't have a problem. And I like Killer Instinct in the arcade game, but the Killer Instinct arcade game is notoriously difficult to emulate. So unless you have it on like on Xbox, or you buy the cabinet from Arcade 1-Up, it's hard to play. And like I said, because I just like it, but I don't like love it. I don't have that deep love for it like Twisted Chris does. And I mean, and this is the thing, I respect the hell out of people who are in love with Killer Instinct, because I mean, I love the characters and the way that you play on there. It's just not the game that that I'm super into. So I would never buy a Killer Instinct cab for like competing or something. But if they were to come out with like a Killer Instinct countercade where I could get good on Killer Instinct and learn how to do everything and feel comfortable, then I might be more willing to do it. But when you come out of the gate as Arcade 1-Up and say this Killer Instinct cab is going to be $700 and all it's got on it is the Killer Instinct games and some Battletoads games, to me that's not something that's gonna appeal to me. It's much like the Big Blue, where I love Street Fighter, but I mean, I'm not good enough at it to where I am justified just not playing it offline. It's
my
like,
friend. I love the fact that you exercise discipline.
Yeah.
Like at the end of the day, I mean, that's the one thing I always say I stay in my lane, and my lane is fighting games, right? So this is unique to actually, and this is weird, the second time this week that somebody has asked me to interview me. So I was like, okay, let's talk about me. I never do. So, I forgot where I was going with that. But anyways, the idea being like, if you don't want to buy it, just don't buy it. And the worst thing you could do is, especially like when people don't like something, is talk about it. Because all you're doing is giving it airtime, right? It's free advertising. Good or bad, you're giving it airplay. It's like
And I was like the one cabinet that came out that kind of irritated me more than any other cab, and I talked a little bit about this last week, was that Tron cabinet. I was really irritated when they came out with that, because I kind of felt like now, and this was just my perspective, and Rev, maybe I was being a little bit narrow-minded, because I know there's people out there who genuinely love that game. But all I can say is all my experiences with that Tron game have been absolutely negative. And I cannot, for the life of me, understand why anybody would pay that kind of money for that. Like, I sat there thinking to myself, I could see, even if you were nostalgic for it and it was a game you liked back in the day, it still isn't. I'm like, but because I was thinking about it like in terms of how often I would play it. I was like, if I were to buy something like that, I'd play it for 15 minutes and it would sit in the corner and look pretty. And I would probably never touch it again. And then I'm seeing all these people on YouTube that are having problems with the stick, that some of the lights have burnt out. They're having issues with the buttons, the power, whatever. And I'm just like, well, you spent all this money on this. I mean, I don't get it. And if you're not really a big fan, I saw somebody who said they wished that they could, I think it was Endless 1-Up, who said he wished he could get his money back from Arcade 1-Up. And I was like, I was even more flabbergasted, because I was like, wait, dude, you bought it direct from Arcade 1-Up? and you, because if you would have bought it from Walmart, or you would have bought it from like anywhere else, you could have returned it and got your money back.
Sure.
Like, Console Fanboy and me, we return cabs all the time. We get a cab, we don't like it, we return it. It's that simple.
So help me out. Walk me through this, man. Walk me through this. Because I'm trying to understand the psychology of this. Like, this is where I have 4 cabinets, right? And I got a jukebox over there, and I got a Pac-Man from my mom for Christmas 2 years ago, right? From QVC. But like, I don't buy cabs like crazy. And I think, to answer your question around the Tron thing, the one thing that I talked about this recently, it's all about the different kind of persons that are out there. So ask yourself this: how many Tron cabinets do you think they want to sell? What's if you're Arcade 1-Up board and they go, we just got Tron from Disney. We just got fucking Tron from Disney.
Yeah.
Let's talk about how many cabs do we really think we can sell? What's the profit margin? When does the juice become worth the squeeze? 3,000? 5,000 cabinets? It's not going to be much. And you got to think, how many people around your or my age grew up with Jeff Bridges and some glow sticks, and and all in their basements? They want to have that home arcade experience. I swear to God, I'll do a picture from behind the scenes. If you saw, like, this is literally my little arcade corner right here. That's it.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
I mean, but that's just, to each their own. Because, like, I see a guy like CT Jason who has, like, holy shit, a real arcade. Like,
I love
super jealous.
Oh my God. When I watch CT Jason, he's another guy that, like, I look at his stuff. I'm like, you are one of the most awesome,
he's got raw
most real dudes. I mean, this dude's got, I mean, he'll talk about everything. He'll talk about the Pandora box. He'll talk about the multicades. He'll talk about his, the at games. I mean, he's really, really like.
Now, here's the key for him, right? Go through his video where he looks at his home arcade. If he's got a Tron in there, he's not playing it, like you said. It's not because he's sitting there like, I can't wait to play Tron.
So is it like IKEA
but it's because,
furniture?
damn, it looks good in that room.
So it's like art decor.
It's like a hot dumb wife.
I guess
you're not gonna ask her for her opinion. You're just gonna have her stand there and look good, right?
I guess. I mean, that's. I just
threw you for a loop. You were like,
my problem
is Tron
with
just
Tron,
a hot dumb wife?
My problem with Tron, though, is like you're like the first. Okay, full disclosure here, the first arcade, that I ever got, the first arcade I ever got was from Arcade 1-Up. It was a Pac-Man. Okay. I had the Pac-Man cabinet. I fell for it just like everybody else did.
You got a 3/4 scale?
It was the 3/4 scale. It was I believe it was the 40th anniversary edition.
Okay.
All right. That was the first cabinet I got. I got that before I got anything else. And I ended up giving it away as a gift to somebody.
Sure.
Who I felt would give it a good home and would like it more.
Yeah, dude, that's awesome.
And I can honestly say that I feel like that cabinet, that cabinet was the start of its snowballing, of like saying, oh my God, I'm part of this community now. I'm gonna get more cabs. My life is I'm thinking about cabs all the time. I'm going to sleep dreaming about quantum arcades. I'm in virtual reality, walking around a virtual reality arcade studio with all kinds of machines. And listen, man, I
like where your head's at. I like where your head's at, man.
It's insane. It's addictive. It's insane. And I even said to my father about it the other day. I'm like, man, Dad, I think I've got ADD. He's like, why do you say that? I said, because there's days where I turn all my cabinets on and I have the volume pretty much as loud as I can without disturbing the peace. And I just like to listen to the noise.
Of the cabinets?
Yeah.
Oh, you're crazy, dude. I play with no sound. There's no sound coming out of any of these, man.
I feel like I'm absolutely crazy.
You're crazy, dude. No way. I don't want to hear a goddamn elephant in the background all day. Just.
Well, yeah. After playing Street Fighter, now, 4 4 of my 5. Well, actually, all my cabs, I will have to say, are multi-cades because even the IRcade is a multi-cade.
Papa Brad's is right there, baby. I agree. Who gives a fuck
Papa
about
Brad
the
is saying, "What is the
Just
plywood
noise.
beef? Who cares about it all?" Sorry, I do not know what you are talking about. Yeah, that's.
It's a fire that doesn't deserve
I
oxygen.
want to make
Let's
that
just move on.
I want to make that documentary. I really do. I want that to be a documentary. We interview people. We interview people in the industry who actually work with MDF and plywood every day. We talk to them about it while we have intercuts of Endless One Up and Rexer arguing about plywood. It really would be fantastic. I don't know.
Life's too short, bro. Life's too short.
Too
there we go. Papa Brad's knows what I'm talking about. Hey, so back to your question though. I what's it called? I was playing Warhammer, thinking about what he was saying. And pandemic hits, you can't do Warhammer. So we got locked down, right? You asked me like how did it come about? We get locked down and I start recording some videos and calling out matches and putting that shit up. And it went crazy, man. A lot more rules. Papa Brad knows. Papa Brad knows about Warhammer. That's right. Magic the Gathering is cardboard crack moat. I love it. I smoked that shit for way too long. Never again. I'm telling you, man. But yeah, no, it's been dude, look at this. Oh.
Sharon Peters is awesome. Sharon Peters just knows what to say and knows how to
I'll take you out for some lumpia. I'll take you out for some lumpia. Dude. Oh my God. I'm telling you, man. Oh my God, that is too.
And we're going to go ahead and read Sharon Peters here right now for everybody out there watching. Warhammer was also the nickname of a guy who I met on a black dating site. Moral of the story, I couldn't walk for 2 weeks.
So dirty.
Wow, Sharon.
So dirty.
Sharon, you are sharing so much of yourself on my show tonight. I don't know how to feel about it. I seriously need a shower after this show. I mean,
you got to get her on Zod's couch, man.
I feel so unclean.
That's one thing I do like about your stream, right? Like you've had some interesting ones. You've had some interesting conflicts on your stream. You know what I mean? Like some personalities I'm not, and I want to say this right. I don't want to insult you. I don't mean it to come across rude or disrespectful, but like you've had a stream or two that was borderline Jerry Springer awesome. Like just like
I know. I think I know
stream of the year, bro. Like if you were to throw up like single streams of the year, which single streams of the year, and they're going through. We have Kongs Are Us for Mrs. Kongs Are Us in a bikini, and then everyone claps at the video. We have ZodWriter for holy shit, Unico and Arcade 1-Up is on a stream at once. Bro, mic drop. You would be getting that award guaranteed. That was one of my favorite streams. I was actually surprised
that stream didn't get more traction because that stream was huge.
That was one of the best streams I've ever seen in my life. I watched the replay. I was sleeping.
Jerry Springer. You are exactly right. That was the Jerry Springer home arcade stream. It was
bro. The look on your face. You were like this. You just set it all up, and then you were like, okay. You're like, okay. All right. And it was magic.
Oh my God! I mean, I'm serious. It was. You are not lying because I don't know what happened because I was supposed to do some stuff with Unico, and then after that stream, it was like Unico was like we're gonna have to we're gonna have to forego that for now, Zod. And I was just like, oh well, I don't know. I'm a supporter. I love Unico. Don't get me wrong, but it's just like I don't. But it was because
I'm sorry that actually had a negative.
But it was rough. It was rough, but I think it was a great stream. It was wonderful. I loved hearing John D be so candid, and I just the whole stream was just amazing. And there were so many big, there were so many big YouTubers, who just jumped on just to give their 2 cents, and it was one of the best streams ever.
Bro, you had like at one point, I
it.
think Moat showed up and just you brought in Moat and he was literally just eating popcorn. Like, oh shit, I'm on the stream now. I was just backstage. I was watching.
Yeah, I mean, Kongs R Us even popped in for a couple minutes, and he was like, and he's just like, I just popped in to say hi, and it was really like, it was really unique. It was unique because I don't think there's ever been, a stream like that of that nature where it just went just so crazy, like you said, like you just lit the fuse.
It went under the radar, man. It was so good. People didn't
bother. And I also think it was because it wasn't like a late night Q&A that I did, because people expect when I do late night Q&As for it to be an interview kind of a thing, but that was a live from the couch, and it was just kind of an explosive show, and people just didn't, a lot of people just didn't catch it. And I felt so bad because I was like, my God, you don't understand. I even changed the name to John D versus Unico because John D was on there, and then I believe it was Chris and Jay from Unico. And I mean, that's never happened. Not in the history of the home arcade streams. It's never happened. I don't know.
It was so good, bro.
Mike here says, Zod, has anyone ever told you that you look identical to Kurt Angle? No, but I take that as a compliment. Thank you. And Council Fanboy is laughing at Sharon. And Jesse Allen says, who do you think should play Cage in the film's sequel? That is a great question, Jesse, and I will defer to you on that one for a moment, Rev. Who do you think should play Johnny Cage in the sequel for Mortal Kombat, for the Mortal Kombat movie?
What are we talking about? I thought they were rebooting it. Is it a sequel or is it a reboot?
There's a sequel coming out. They just did. Well, so you didn't see Mortal Kombat 2021? Or
yeah, the one on like HBO?
Yeah, the new one.
Yeah, I saw it, but I thought they were rebooting it is what I read. I didn't think it was a sequel.
Apparently, they're doing a sequel to that one.
So, who plays Cage?
Yeah.
I don't know, dude. I'm out. Who's the hot actor who can do the splits?
Well, a lot of the rumors are that they want to get Miz from WWE to play Cage.
That visually could work, but I don't know that he could carry a movie role. You know what I mean? Like maybe I'm not. A character that big, and that's what I'm saying. A character that iconic, like Johnny Cage, the actor really has to get it right. So I don't know. I want them to get somebody Tatum, but he's too. Channing Tatum to me is Gambit. Like I want him to play Gambit, but maybe he could do Johnny Cage. I don't know.
Whoever they get, I want the guy to resemble, Daniel Pesina from the original Mortal Kombat. I want him to look like the original Johnny Cage. I don't know if they would have to cast an unknown or whatever, but I'd like to see.
The first movie wasn't bad. It wasn't Pesina either.
I forget the guy's name. He
wasn't bad though.
Something Ashley or something, and he was a good character. He was a good actor. But they didn't even. But then he didn't even come back for the next one after that. They just got a guy that looked like him to die in the first 5 minutes.
They give a shit about that franchise, man. Let's be real. That thing went to movie hell for decades. They had cartoons that were better than live action movies.
Yeah, the cartoons were great. What's up, 8-Bit Vinyl? Good to see you. Oh my God. And Console Fanboy says, "Wow, you're Ken too."
Ken player.
Yeah. Ken is my guy on Street Fighter, but that's and I'm only, I feel like I'm only serviceable with Ken. Like I can play Ken and can win a couple matches with the computer, and then that's it. I lose. And even on like other games like Third Strike and those, I like to play.
Here's what I'll tell you, my friend, and I mean this though. There's going to be a day where you're going to grab a Big Blue and you'll be playing and you'll be like, man, I suck. But you're going to get hooked up in the right community like this. And you're going to find like they don't throw me to the wolves. Every now and then I get my ass kicked by a wolf. But for the most part, I get to swim with the minnows for a while until I grow. And like the community, that's one thing that I love about the online arcade community is it's really understanding because it's small enough and fragile enough that it realizes, hey, like if we disrupt this in a bad way, it'll fall apart. Like it's not hard. Like if you start just, only doing some exploits and that's it. And like people try to ruin, Like there's characters on there that people avoid playing. They know the names, and even if they change their name and they pick the characters they play, they know right away. They're like, all right, I'm not going to play this guy. So like certain people have just been kind of ostracized. So if you get a cab that you're not feeling comfortable on, man, get in there, get your butt pounded a few times. It'll loosen up nice and flabby. And then once you're good, you won't mind picking up the soap. It'll be fine. You'll be very comfortable. You know, we'll whisper behind your ear a little.
And this is a great point here that Council Fanboy makes in correlation with what you're saying. Sometimes people buy cabs for the looks only, and that's okay. And I would agree with that, except for the fact that I don't have that kind of money to just buy a cab.
Dude, you're in the greatest. You're in the greatest job market. You're in the greatest job market for labor that this country has ever seen since the 1940s. Go get yourself a new job, baby. Make that money right now. It's the time. I promise you. Go.
$700 art decor and little play value, not for.
And that's what it's going to be to whatever 5,000 people that buy it, right?
Art decor.
Yeah, yeah.
So listen, dude. Let's be real. Wait, did you say you bought a Tron? You bought
hell
one?
To the no.
Okay, I was just gonna say because I was like, I want because I really wanted to know what did your wife think about the big nightlight?
No. So like and luckily, dude, truthfully, I want to say it was like a month before or something. We went to a barcade here in Minneapolis. Remember that 2-week period where we could go outside and not wear masks? That was a great time for that 2-week period recently. Yeah, my wife and I went out and they had a Tron, and it was when the hype on Tron was coming out, and I was like, all right, I'm gonna check this damn game out. Dude, I spent $1 on that game. I will never spend $1 on that game again. Like, I was like, you got 4 quarters from me. Good luck. That's all you get, Tron, ever. Like, it's people who were maybe, I don't know how old you are, man. I'm like 42, right? So it's legit maybe 5 years older than me to 10 years older than me. That generation had a different arcade experience than I did. I came up in the Street Fighter, Mortal Kombat days. They came up in the Tron and Pac-Man days, right? So it's like that's why when they see stuff like Montezuma's Revenge, they get hard-ons. And they're like, "Oh my god,
okay,
amazing."
Okay, now there's that. Now I could see, and this is.
I respect it. It's their generation.
This is an issue that I have. The iArcade. Okay, I could see Tron going to the iArcade because it's that type of game. It's that type of thing that they for $7 on the iArcade. If you have nostalgia towards Tron,
oh dude, it would be a hot sale.
It would be worth it.
It would.
But what they're doing with Arcade 1-Up, all it can be is decor. Because even the people that, and this is the thing I'm finding funny too, and maybe it's just me, even people I've talked to that really like Tron admit that they don't play it that much.
Right.
They admit that it just kind of, it's there just for, and not to mention all the people that, are having problems with their cabinet now.
Yeah, sure. Yeah. I mean, at the end of the day, here's the problem, right? The problem is that the mouse owns it. And the mouse is only going to fuck with a company the size of Arcade 1-Up. The mouse don't care about an iArcade, right? Disney is looking at an iArcade and being like, yeah, you can suck my balls. You know what I'm saying? They don't give a shit. He'll look at Arcade 1-Up and go, oh, you're working with Pizza Hut. Oh, okay. And the Dolphins. Like, that's the shit Disney wants to see, right? So when you look at that dynamic, you're absolutely right. It would be hotcakes on the iArcade at $7. Dude, let's be real. It's Tron. They could charge $19.99. People would pay it. But the problem is they know, well, shit, people will pay $800 for it too.
Yeah.
And as long as they are comfortable knowing people are going to pay $800 for this bitch, then they know, okay, let's move forward. Here's what's going to be really ready. Are you ready for this? When you see the Tron Pro Series and that sells, and you're going to be like,
but
what the fuck?
But see, the problem with the Tron
Pro got a microwave series, built in. That's it.
The problem with the Tron Pro Series is going to be all the people that bought Tron that are having problems with the cabinet now. I saw one person who did a review. He had his Tron cabinet. He did a positive review, and then a week later, the spinner broke on the cabinet, and he so he said that he's, he was all upset, and he's like, I don't think I'll ever buy another 1-Up cabinet again. And then he talked about how he started having problems with the stick, with the control stick. And I'm thinking, and you barely play it. Imagine somebody who bought that game to play that game the way I play Mortal Kombat. Okay, and I've got
the way I play Street Fighter, right?
You're talking about where you're talking about somebody really playing the game, really getting into the weeds, and to spend that kind of money and to have it not be top quality. I would say this, Rev, good luck selling those Pro Line Tron cabinets.
I don't think they need luck. I don't think they need luck.
I don't think
they'll
they're
sell
gonna
them. Like, because here's the idea. Again, they'll target what they know they can sell. You know what I'm saying? Like, so they're not going to overextend their supply chain and say we're going to sell 100,000 of those Pro Line Tron cabs. They're going to go, we're going to sell 3,000 to 5,000 of those. And out of that 3,000 to 5,000, if we sell 5,000 at $1,000 a piece, that's $500,000, right? And out of that $500,000, if you take the percentage, let's say low. Let's say margins are low and it's only a 10% margin. That's $50,000 for selling 1,000 cabs. Yeah, there's an employee paid right there. There's an employee's salary for a year, or that's 2 employees' benefits for a year, right? So that's how they're looking at it. They got to make those sales. Now, dude, you got to think like on the larger scale of things. I tell people like this all the time. Like, I buy Arcade 1-Up and I know the joysticks are shit because it's the easiest way for them to cut corners and make a ton of money. You know what I mean? Like, they can lock in these cheap ass plastic joysticks and buttons and spinners and flight sticks and all that shit because they know that there's an aftermarket to mod it like crazy. And we're already buying the crack. So why aren't we going to buy a pretty crack pipe to smoke it with? So like me buying all of my industrial Lorenzo buttons and 9-pound Sanwa springs and all the adjustments I do to my mods, they know. Like, us crackheads are going to mod this stuff. So like the guys who are like, hey, I bought a Tron and it broke. Okay, got it. Go to Glenn's Retro Show and buy a Glenn's Retro Show joystick for $35 at Micro Center, and you'll never have to worry about the joystick breaking again, and it'll look even better, and get the spinner, and you're going to be loving life. You know what I'm saying? It's like, there's alternatives. And I think, like, don't get me wrong. I get the frustration of I bought this and it broke. Never something that you want to have happen, right? Respect. I get that. But it's also made in China. Did you really expect this shit to come out like fucking, amazing? Fuck this camera. But you know what I'm saying? Like, did you really expect this shit to come out like amazing where it's like, oh shit, dude, did you see this latest MDF coming out of motherfucking Beijing? This is amazing.
MDF.
This is bulletproof. No.
$60, $60 an inch.
Dude, and they pack this shit into a box that fits into a Walmart shelf, right? So you get what you pay for. Like, for me, what's most important is the box on the back and the encoder in the front. That's really what I'm paying for. Like, the rest of it, I can mod. The rest of it is you can get a girlfriend. She got no titties. You buy her new titties. Bam. Girlfriend's got new titties. You get a 20-inch monitor on here. Bam. You got new titties for your cabinet, right? Like, there's different things you do. And again, to those people who are like, yo, I want to buy a Tron. I want to play a Tron, and I don't want it to break in my hands. And this one did. That sucks. And if you bought it directly, you're probably going to have a tough time dealing with the return or the customer service right now. It's just a reality check. And if you didn't know and you're saying, I'm never buying an Arcade 1-Up again, that sucks. Because there's really good product out there like Big Blue. There's really good product out there like the Marvel versus Capcom and the X-Men cabinets, where it's like, those are legit. Those are legit awesome products. So what do I know?
Yeah, I and I'm hoping that the Mortal Kombat 30th anniversary is of that high quality, because perfect. I gotta say, it's and I'm one of those people that if I get that cab, I'm gonna want to get a Johnny Cage to put over the dragon. That's that's artwork, so that's
that's true, right? What? That's the solution. Everybody wants goddamn Pacina. Spend $8 at your local sticker store and put them on the side. Like, I never thought about that. Yeah, just
get that sticker. It's the sticker that'll just go over it, and especially if you have like
love it,
custom
dude.
cabs that have Pacina, and
Right.
you know what you need. You just get
Right.
that sticker, you stick it over there, and there you go. You got
You want
you got it.
Pacina? Go buy Pacina.
I,
Goddamn, dude.
I don't know. I'm just
I'm with you, dude. I want to play
think
Mortal Kombat online versus people, and I want to be able to watch, and I want to be able to track people's scores well.
I want to be put your quarters on the glass, and I want to be playing Mortal Kombat with all you people. And this is exactly why they've got me. They've got me for that 30th anniversary. Like I wasn't, and this is the thing. It's like I was saying, I couldn't justify Big Blue to myself because I know that I'm not that great, and I'm not going to be. Jam. It's not my thing. But I know that Mortal Kombat is going to be off the hook, and I've already got 3 Mortal Kombat 1 themed machines, so why not add a 4th to the mix?
Bro, you got to be careful, okay? Just be careful, right? Like, I want you to think about this. Are you married?
No.
It's complex. Okay, so check it out, bro. You want to be careful bringing a girl over, and she walks into a room with 4 Mortal Kombat cabinets going on. That's a red flag. You got to be careful. You got to hide some of those. Don't let her know the full deal, okay?
All these Mortal Kombat. What's with the Mortal Kombat Arcade 1 fetish that you have, ZodWriter? Well, I don't know. I can't explain it, but it's a very but the thing is,
well, you know about Liu Kang, honey.
All of the 3 cabinets, all 3 of the Mortal Kombat 1 cabinets that I have are all different. They're like a different variant, but they all have Johnny Cage on the side. I'll tell you that right now.
Man, I guarantee you there's some conversations that took place between Pacina and his lawyer and that lawyer and whatever lawyer was representing licensing and marketing, right? From the other side. Like, in my mind, if you're looking at, put yourselves in the shoes of Daniel Pacina, right? You have an organization coming to you, say, hey, we're going to do Mortal Kombat. We want you on the side. And you go, no, you don't have my likeness. And they say, we're going to give you 1 cent on the cab, 1 penny, 2 pennies, whatever. You're getting nothing now, and the cab is out without you. And people are just going to go buy stickers with your likeness of it and stick that shit on the side.
That's what I don't understand why they won't make. That's why I don't understand why they don't, why they can't figure out a way to make a deal work. Like, what I don't understand is
because he doesn't have leverage.
But here's the question.
It's a negotiation tactic. Pacina doesn't have leverage.
Here's the question I got, though. Couldn't Arcade 1-Up Arcade 1-Up already has the license to make this Mortal Kombat cabinet, right? So why can't Arcade 1-Up work out some kind of a deal for Pacina's likeness that has nothing to do with NetherRealm, Warner Brothers, or whoever owns Mortal Kombat right now? It would be like a contractor. You're contracting
I would imagine there's some kind of legalities where the lawyers said, hey, this is the risk. If we go down that road, like, here's the look that it gives us, and we don't look good in court. Like, we may not be on stable ground to stand to make that action. And it's probably something going back between Pacina and whatever, Midway, or at this point, what is it, Warner Brothers or whoever owns this shit
I think it's isn't it I want to say it's, well, Warner Brothers owns Mortal Kombat as a property, but I think it's like NetherRealm or somebody, whoever does Mortal Kombat now. My thing is, there should be a way to work out some kind of a deal. Pacina is a human being. He can be reasoned with. It's not like you're dealing with
how many humans have you met, my friend?
Well, but don't you think like, I'm sure Pacina would like his face to be on the 30th anniversary cabinet. I think
especially now
that you can actually have these machines in your home. Like you say, like the point I'm trying to make, I have 3 MK1 variant cabs right now, and they all have Daniel Pacina on the side art. And like you said, you can go out, get a sticker, print it up, have them out there. There you go.
You know, did you notice when they released the Arcade 1-Up commercial for this thing? There was live game footage, and one of the game footage, they had Johnny Cage in the corner getting his ass kicked by Liu Kang. Did you see that little clip it as well? Like, I think there was something like, you don't put that in the final commercial and that just made it through. Like, that would shock me if that just it made it through. Like, we didn't realize that was actually Daniel Pesina getting his ass kicked by Liu Kang right there, right? Like, I bet you that there's some interesting conversations, my friend, that we are not privileged to. That would be crazy.
I think so too.
There's been a lot of motherfuckers been thrown in offices, I'm sure. Like, you motherfuckers, how dare you? You know, like, and at this point, the pie's baked. Like, if I'm Daniel Pesina, I'm going new haircut. No new haircut. Just it's just all greasy and back. I think if I'm Daniel Pesina at this point, give me crumbs. Right? Because it's like, well, I'm not going to make anything off this deal. And to, you know, what am I going to get? I'm going to get nothing, and they're going to produce. I mean, and let's be honest, how many Mortal Kombat cabs do you see him selling? 10,000? I go 10,000.
More than that. This is Mortal Kombat. This is the 30th anniversary. You're going to
So what do you think?
You're going to have people who never even considered buying an arcade buying this.
I get it, but what do you think it is then? So what do you think their target number is for when they go, hey, if we hit this is success? 10,000, 20,000? I say 10,000 cabs. You say more than that? What's their success margin on Mortal Kombat?
I say Mortal Kombat. They might hit it. They might go as high as 25.
25,000, dude. Think about that. If they sell 20, and if they hit that mark, you will have such an active community for Mortal Kombat, for online gameplay. Zod, you'll be cutting throats and ripping spines out and eating hearts and punching heads off and like zapping them till they pop for days, bro.
And Twisted Gaming. Thank you, bro. Thank you, Chris. Twisted Gaming TV. Twisted Chris, who will be here with us next week with a $1.99 super chat, says my baby is up there in price after the Bobby Vu mod. You're talking about your big blue with the control panel that he did for you. I've seen the preview of what Bobby is doing for you, Chris, and it's going to be worth it. Honestly, when Bobby Vu made my Mortal Kombat bar top, I can speak from experience. Bobby is high quality. The man is Bobby's a genius. Bobby should have his own arcade company. He's so good at what he does.
You know, here's the problem with Bobby, and I love Bobby. Bobby needs like an angel investor to get him a warehouse and a machines, you know what I mean? Like he's doing it all himself. And like one man can only go so far. Right?
He's a genius. He is a genius. And I swear to God, like when I went to him about my bar top, he's like, don't worry. He's like, don't worry about it, Zod. I got you, just parts and shipping. And he built it. And I'm like, and it was like the most beautiful thing I'd ever seen. I was like, oh my God, this is incredible, Bobby. Like, how do you do this? How do you come up with this kind of stuff? I mean, and he goes into such detail, and he's so articulate about all these little things. And I mean, I thought the thing that the little announcement he did not too long ago about the iArcade, about with the tablet, that's genius. That's fantastic.
I'm not even gonna lie. I could give a shit about that whole thing. What I want is that stacked and packed giant fridge for a stand. Bro, when he cracked that open and it had it full of Modelos, that was next level base of I never saw that before in my life. That was amazing. All the other bells and whistles I've seen. Cool speakers, got it. A little grill, got it. Some monitors, got it. But a fridge stacked and packed with cold boys? Come on now.
Listen, that was dope.
Amazing.
And that just showed you the level of creativity that this man is on. He's on another plane of existence. He's like the angel of arcade creators. I have to say, he is genius. Like, I can't say enough positive things about Bobby. I absolutely love Bobby. He's fantastic.
If he gets like I said, he's got to get into a better situation, right? He's good for what he's doing. And if he's happy doing it, more power to you, man. You know, like, live your life. But if someone is looking for someone to invest in, and they want to find a Nikolai Tesla of the modern day who makes, I call them Hattori Hanzo swords. Like, these are one of a kind artistic genius.
I'll be buried with my VuCade.
Right?
I'm gonna tell you
They're
that
gorgeous.
right now. Bury me in a tomb with put my ashes in the top part with the To Die For logo.
Give mine to Bobby and make him do something with them.
There you go. Put the ashes in the arcade. Hey, that's another show. Put your ashes in the arcade.
Put your ashes on the glass.
Oh, there we go. We got another show. We got another show coming out here. And Hollywood Polo asks, ZodWriter, how did you like Book of Boba Fett this week?
No spoilers. It's good.
I don't want to spoil anything for anybody, but I actually really like Book of Boba Fett. I did finish it up last night. I enjoyed it. I thought it was a great show. Yeah, it was only 5 episodes. That's it.
No.
Yeah, Book of Boba Fett is done, and then I think now we're heading into Mandalorian season 3. So five episodes, bro.
No way. Hold on, I'm going to Disney right now. I've watched all 5 episodes, and that's it? You're telling me?
That's it. 5.
I was today years old when I learned that sucked. Damn.
Wow.
Dude, so let me ask you this, man. What happens if Arcade 1-Up sells 40,000 Mortal Kombats?
You know what? If that happens, put your quarters on the glass is going to have a hell of a lot more subscribers. I'll tell you that much.
Dude,
think about what this community is going to become if there's that many Mortal Kombat cabinets out there.
It would be interesting.
Let me tell you something. I'm getting this Mortal Kombat 30th anniversary Arcade 1-Up, if for no other reason, to compete and be on put your quarters in the glass, because I've got a million other ways to play Mortal Kombat 1. So never let it be that said that your show isn't doing amazing things for this community, because I'll tell you right now, 1-Up owes you a debt of gratitude there, because I'll tell you right now, you already know I'm like this Mortal Kombat 1 obsessive to already have 3 Mortal Kombat 1 themed cabs and getting ready to get a 4th one just so that I could play online. That's a testament to how awesome what you're doing is what you're doing. And this is why, without mentioning it, we'll say that they need to make sure that other situation is rectified.
Because no doubt.
Because this is a big thing for the community, and people have to be able. I get so much joy out of watching you just commentate these matches. I mean, you do it in such a funny and an exciting way, and people can just kick back and enjoy it and eat their popcorn, and it's great stuff. It's great entertainment, and I feel like it's only going to get bigger when you have a game like Mortal Kombat on the list. When you've got, I mean, Street Fighter is big, don't get me wrong. But Mortal Kombat, I think, is gonna revolutionize.
I'll tell you what, my friend. I think and I haven't been secret about this, but if the opportunity is presented that I can actually stream out the quality, and don't get me wrong, I can always set up a camera and do that like old school like I did, but if the opportunity is there to set up a good stream and get Mortal Kombat, I'm actually going to be doing a second night. I'm going to expand. So like we have Friday nights for the Waffle House. There'll be something like a Mortal Kombat Mondays, and I don't know what it'll be yet, man. The
Mortal Monday. Oh my God. Muse, could you imagine the hype?
The muse is still working in my head, man. So we're going to, like, with Mortal Kombat, that would be an expansion of what I do, man. I'd really try to do it two nights a week. So we'll see.
I'll tell you what, Rev. Mortal Monday
sounds good, doesn't it?
Is iconic.
It sounds good.
I remember being a kid, being excited to get Mortal Kombat on Mortal Monday when they would be released on the consoles. You have to understand, when I got Mortal Kombat 2, when it came out, it was a Mortal Monday, and when it came out for Super Nintendo, I was so excited because I had a Super Nintendo. I didn't have a Sega Genesis, and this was the first time you were getting a home version of Mortal Kombat for Super Nintendo that actually had all the blood and fatalities intact.
No blood on Super Nintendo. No blood on Super Nintendo.
No blood on Super Nintendo for the first
Sega
game.
had it.
The second game. I'm talking about Mortal Kombat 2.
Yeah.
Mortal Kombat 2 raised the bar, took it to a whole nother level with Super Nintendo.
Oh yeah.
And this is why I'm saying everybody, if you grew up, loving Mortal Kombat, you're going to be hyped for the idea to return to the arcade and put your quarters on the glass. You cannot, if you're a fan, you're going to want to play against people online. Yeah. You're going to want it to be broadcast. You're going to want to have a spectator mode. You're going to want to have a Rev commentating the match. I'm telling you, this is the thing. This is the quantum arcade that I'm dreaming about right now. This is what I'm visualizing. Mortal Mondays happening every Monday, and you having so many matches that you have to call for this thing that you're going to have like a really, really dry throat by the end of the night. You're going to have to stay completely. You're going to have to be drinking lots of water and fluids the night before. You're going to have to keep yourself, because this Mortal Monday stuff is not going to be no joke. And I think it's going to be, and like I say, no offense to Street Fighter, but I think it's going to be way bigger than what you have going on right now with the Big Blue stuff. I think ultimately Mortal Kombat's going to change the game.
I hope so, man. I'd be looking forward to it. I think, here's the thing, right? Like, the community is growing and it's not stopping right now. And that's, dude, honestly, man, like a year ago, it was me and this, like, and a gooseneck camera holder, like literally angling in front of my cabinet and then just talking shit to the cabinet, right? So like that was a year ago. And now to see where I'm at now, it's all good, man. Like, I count my blessings. I'm a blessed man. And dude, I get opportunities like this, man, where I get to hang out with you. And dude, this has been a hell of a lot of fun, dude. I've had a blast talking with you, right? So like seeing Sharon Peters, that dirty whore, saying titties on the glass Tuesdays, right? Like all those kind of things out there are it's just surreal, man. And I enjoy that kind of stuff. So seeing the opportunity for a Mortal Monday and like what it could be, dude, it's hard to keep my expectation, or my, what's the word I'm looking for? Like when you get overhyped, or you set your expectations too high and then you get let down,
Yeah.
Like
you want to keep your expectations in check. But I think this is a time where you have to think bigger. You have to see it for what it is. You have to know that at this point, Mortal Kombat is the game that's going to make this community of fighting competition. That's what's going to make it grow. This is where I disagree, where people say, well,
you're absolutely right.
Outside of the small, like this comment here, it's not worth it to arcade one up. Outside of our community, no one is making decisions on buying the cab based on Daniel being on the side of it or not. I would say right there that Mike, you're underestimating the popularity of Mortal Kombat at this point, because everybody that I know that is interested in getting a Mortal Kombat arcade cabinet has asked me that question. Is Daniel Pesina going to be on the side of the cabinet? That's a very you have to understand it's iconic. And if you ever played Mortal Kombat back in the day, if you were ever a fan, it's going to be something that you're going to remember, and it's going to stick with you through those nostalgia goggles that we all have right now.
Oh yeah, and especially for Mortal Kombat, right? Like that changed the game. Our parents yelled at us for playing for that game, right? Like let's be honest.
Oh my god, that game is something. Console Fanboy says, I think the 30th cab is gorgeous, and at this point, I only care about the online and that beautiful control panel. Now, this is where I will agree with you, Console Fanboy. I think that the cabinet, in spite of not having Daniel Pesina, looks great. They're at least trying to make it look as close to the original as they can. within their legal rights to do so. So I give them credit for that. And I will agree with you. It's a beautiful looking cab as is. And I am going to like it with or without Patina, only because it'll be the fourth variant of Mortal Kombat 1 that I have. So I may just leave Patina off of it just because it'll stand out differently from the other three.
One of us is not like the other, man. Yeah.
I mean, it's just so funny to me. Like, but it is, but I will say, I think it would sell exponentially better if it does end up with Patina on the side art. I just think it'll make a difference.
I think here's my out of 14 million timelines that Dr. Strange saw, here's the one for me, right? The one, right? Like if they drop a cab off for me and they go, here, Rev, build this thing, live stream it, don't be an idiot, and give us a real review of this thing. And it's got all the bells and whistles that your boy wants. I'll sell 40,000 cabs for these motherfuckers myself, right? Because it'll be that easy on my stream. I think it will. Like, to your point, Mortal Kombat, I think, could be a game changer. I really do. Like, and it's got to happen. But I'm gonna let that wave of gravity take over when the time comes, man. Preparing for it is the key, but just let it happen. When it happens, it happens. So
there was no blood code on the Super Nintendo version. I had the Super Nintendo version, so I didn't. As a kid growing up, I didn't have Sega Genesis, so I didn't.
I remember Sega having blood and Super Nintendo not.
Yeah,
and it was
Super
like
Nintendo never had blood. It was just sweat coming out.
Yeah,
and you didn't have to enter a code, but it was goofy.
Right,
and it
was like
make
white
sense.
blood. And you were like,
there is a new version of the Sega Genesis version of Mortal Kombat. There's a new version that was made where they added back a lot of the arcade stuff that was taken out. They deleted the stops and things. It's very arcade like. It's another ROM that's available, and there's actually physical copies of it available now. I've seen them on eBay, but I played it through emulation, and it's fantastic. It even has the old, like, if you guys know anything about EGM magazine back in the day, Electronic Gaming Monthly, published an article about Ermac being a hidden character in Mortal Kombat 1, and actually showed Ermac. Ermac wins, and actually showed a picture of him standing in the Warrior Shrine of Mortal Kombat 1. This new version of Mortal Kombat, the arcade edition for Sega Genesis that exists now, puts Ermac in the game. And not only is Ermac in the game, but you have to beat the game all the way through with one guy. You cannot lose. You beat the game all the way through. You beat Shang Tsung, and then you are transported back to the Warrior Shrine, and you fight Ermac.
I think that's how it originally was in 2, right? Isn't that like the process to unlock him in 2 or to fight him in 2?
I think, I don't know, but
there was always all these little trick paths to unlock guys.
But Ermac is in it. The Red Ninja, he's in it, and and he's insane. He's even harder to beat than Reptile. And I was like, but I've done it. I mean, I've done it, I've done it a bunch of times already. Beat the game with one.
Are you playing on PC or on like PlayStation or what?
I run it off of emulation.
Okay.
Off of RetroArch on a PC, and I put it on. I even put it on here on this little Pocket Go that I got. This emulator, I added the game to this, and so I play it on here too. And yeah, but it's a fun version of Mortal Kombat for those of you who were fans of the Sega Genesis version. Should check it out. The improvements are unbelievable. I mean, they did, and they released their version of the ROM on Christmas Day last year.
So let me ask you this then, man. Let me ask you this then. What is Zod's price point for Mortal Kombat? Does it not have a price point? Is Mortal Kombat coming home with Daddy Zod no matter what? Or is there a cutoff where you're like, this bitch is too expensive for my blood?
I'm praying that it's the same price as the current Legacy cab.
Okay.
I am praying.
What is that? $4.99, $5.99?
I think it's $4.49 or $4.99, something like that. I'm praying that it's no more than that. I am praying that it is no more than that because to me, I feel like you just put out the other Legacy cab. I did get the other legacy cap, but I'm sitting here thinking, and I mean, I was one of those guys. I did have the countercade, and
Dude, they're going to drop that real soon around March or April. You know why? Because everybody's going to be getting that government check right around that time.
Oh yeah, you're
get that nice fat tax refund.
The tax refund.
See, Sharon Peters is a dirty girl. She's a muchacha sucia.
Sharon Peters is
she likes that lumpia.
Is promoting hard right now.
She is,
and we've got. Let's see.
Dude, a whole bunch. I am looking forward to this Sunday, by the way, guys. I can't wait for Royal Rumble. This shit's going to be dope.
Yeah. WCW had a wrestler named Glacier.
True.
Who was a Sub-Zero ripoff. Now, true. I remember Glacier.
True story.
Because here's the thing. I was a big fan of WCW Monday Nitro. WCW was my show. That was Monday nights the way that Monday nights should be. You would flip between WCW and Monday Night Raw.
I only hit one button, previous channel.
That was me. I would do the same thing, previous channel. It would be all night. You'd be going back and forth to see who was going to show up on what. I'll tell you. And you know what? I like Glacier. Because Glacier was actually supposed to be a Mortal Kombat.
You didn't like that sorry son of a bitch. Come on.
I wanted them to do more with him. He was like, what was the guy's name? The Kempo fighter. What was his name? Steve Blackman. Remember?
Yeah, Steve Blackman. Yep.
I always thought that they were trying to build up some kind of Glacier, Steve Blackman. They were trying to build up a Mortal Kombat type
doing something
of thing happening. And it just was really it was just really one of those things.
That's
and
hilarious, dude.
Talon's on Mortal Kombat Forever. I'm telling you, this is why for the 30th anniversary, it's gotta be big, and it's gotta be done in style, and it's gotta be done in a way that you're going to that everybody can relate and everybody can be excited. And to me, what better way than to have Mortal Mondays become a permanent part of Put Your Quarters on the Glass? What better way to celebrate the legacy of Mortal Kombat?
Let them know, man. Send when people watch this stream, send Scott a message. Let him know. I'm sure he's responsive to the community. Apparently he really is he's a supporter of the online community. He really wants it to grow and thrive. So
Mortal Kombat created the ESRB, and you are 100% correct. And without Mortal Kombat, we never would have had that.
I think, also that time, right? Like that time and age was when Two Live Crew was under a lot of censorship, and Andrew Dice Clay was heavily scrutinized.
I'm sure Sharon Peters like Two Live Crew. What do you think?
I'm sure Sharon Peters is probably on the cover of a Two Live Crew.
As nasty as we want to be, Sharon's on the cover.
That's right. So God bless. There's a lot of censorship around that time, right? It's circular history indeed, but that was Mortal Kombat changed the game, dude. When you ripped a dude's heart out and then it was still beaten, your mom were like, get your ass over to Street Fighter and play that game. You know what I mean? It was like, no, I want to rip that guy's head off. Oh my god, it was amazing.
Street Fighter, yeah. Street Fighter just did it. Now did you see some of the prototype pictures from, speaking of EGM, back in the day of Street Fighter, where they showed Ryu holding a bazooka, and they were trying to show that Street Fighter at one point was supposed to be as bloody and gory as Mortal Kombat, but they decided
on one of the design later games or something like that. Sure. I don't know, during that timeline, 92 was an interesting year, my friend. 92 was crazy because you had Killer Instinct, you had Super Turbo, and you had MK come out all in the same year. And so you're talking about the definitively, arguably the greatest Street Fighter of the original series, Killer Instinct, which was a game changer for American arcades, and and Mortal Kombat, which legitimately changed the fighting game genre as a whole. So that whole year was dynamic and was ground shaking to the fight game community, man. 92 was crazy, bro. It was nuts. And nothing against any of those three, because all three of them have branched off to be successful in their own outrights, right? They all have their own communities. Obviously, Mortal Kombat in America and actually internationally is probably the biggest of the three franchises, maybe because of its movies and toys. And like, you don't see Street Fighter movies, right? Like, what I mean,
oh yeah, they tried that once and they're never gonna. That looks like they're never gonna try that again. It's just,
I mean, dude, listen, no disrespect to my man Jean-Claude, right? I love him, but that movie was basura. And like, even from there, like, and this is the sad part. Have you ever seen the Street Fighter anime from like 92 or whatever?
I love it. It's one of my all-time favorite movies.
It's the best damn Street Fighter story out there.
It's fantastic.
How is an animation the best story out there for Street Fighter?
Oh, it's
from 92.
It's from 92, and number one, it's from 92, and it has animation that competes with some of the stuff that comes out today. It's fantastic. Oh my,
it's
God,
unbelievable, man.
You talk about taking Street Fighter and putting it in a movie form, animation, and just doing everything right. That anime does it. Console Fanboy says, I think it will be $5.99, maybe even $6.99.
96
since KI was $6.99. I'll still get it. But my thing is, though, Mortal Kombat's supposed to be a legacy cabinet. KI is not a legacy, so legacies are supposed to stay within a certain price point, right? Well, legacies are supposed to stay within a certain price point because they're supposed to be always available, right? Isn't that what?
Is that the definition of a legacy? I call them, like, I brand them like, are you a 3/4 with a riser, or are you a pro? Like, I don't know how they're trying to differentiate their SKUs now, but like, for me, it's always been, if you don't have online, I'm not buying it. Like, no online, no buy, period. Like, there's no reason to buy that shit. Like you said, I'll hold that in my little handheld arcade and play all these games. Forget it. KI was 92, my friend.
Do you still watch wrestling? AEW has Sting, CM Punk, and Daniel Bryan. I watch AEW every once in a while.
Yeah, dude. I'm not I don't watch wrestling all that much, sadly.
AEW I like because I every once in a while I get nostalgic and miss Tony Schiavone's voice, so I like to watch AEW.
I think they're doing good things over there. Like, I hear what they're going for. Or guess it is 94 on the NES, right? It was released in the arcade, fall in 94. I stand corrected. Good call out, whoever said 94.
Well, Sharon is being very personal tonight, and I got to give her a lot of credit for putting herself out there the way she is tonight, because I've just never seen anything like this before. Sharon says, the only thing I've seen that is bloodier than Mortal Kombat is my menstrual cycle. And I will believe you with that. It will take your word for it, and we'll leave it at that, because I hate.
Next question, bro. Next question. Next comment.
Gospel Fanboy says, I have a video on that Street Fighter versus MK. You are correct. Just one Street Fighter movie versus several MK movies.
And don't get me wrong, like, most of those Mortal Kombat movies are dog shit, right? But there's some of the animated ones.
I love the first one. I love the first one that came out in 95, the first Mortal Kombat movie. And then all the animated movies that have come out recently for Mortal Kombat have been straight up just fire, up fire. Like, you can't. It doesn't get any better. It's almost, I wouldn't say that they're as good as the Street Fighter animated movie, but they're pretty good,
dude. Here's the problem, bro. It's the Warner Brothers curse, right? Like, how the hell do you make animation so good, but you can't make a movie of the property is that good? Look at their DC line. Their animated DC line is amazing. Like, I love the classic DC animated series, like Doom or
now, what do you think about Batman the Animated Series coming back, getting a revamp and coming back?
Is it Conroy?
I don't know. I thought they say it's going to be. I hope it's going to be.
Bro, if it's Conroy, take my money.
If it's Conroy, it'll be good, though. I think
take my money, man.
Definitely.
I mean, when I hear that original, like that, like orchestral rise, it just brings goosebumps. Like, okay, I know that. That's Batman. I don't even need to know the rest of the song. Just the intro to that cartoon triggers a just a crazy reaction in my brain, man. It's like Sharon Peters being taken out for some dirty sizzler, and then taken home to her apartment and dropped off.
Dirty sizzler. Sizzler. I can't believe you mentioned Sizzler. Oh boy.
Come on now.
Wow, that was awesome. That was awesome. And Sharon Peters, I gotta read your comments because you just bring so much to these shows. I go to a local man on man bar called the Manhole and watch midget wrestling.
It's the best.
Oh, okay.
They all can't be bangers, bro. Some are a swing and the miss.
No online, no buy. Why not? Huh?
So here's why. For me, if I'm gonna play something like, I don't know, let's say I want to play a beat 'em up or something, right? Like I have like a little shitty Etsy arcade over there that I plug into my TV, and it's got 10,000 video games, right? And so I can play any of these classic arcade games by myself. And once I beat them, I'm bored. Like, okay, I saw the end of The Simpsons. Never gonna play that game again. You know what I mean? It's like it's over.
Well, that's exactly why I would never buy a Simpsons.
There's no replay value.
Cabinet. Yeah, the replay value isn't there even online because it's
what am I racing? A high score?
Yeah, those types of games I just don't think are. I think
it's not for me.
Yeah.
So but with no online, no buy, when it comes to fighting games, because once you've smoked that crack retro machina, you don't want to go back. Like, why would you be? Yeah, I'll go backwards and play offline. Let me play against the computer. Let me memorize what the script is going to do and just counteract the script. And then you go to play a person and you think you're Billy Badass, and then you run into a good player and you're like, but I can beat the computer. And then you get your shit pushed in. Like it's cell block 4 and it's lunchtime and you got a fruit cup that big old Bobo wants, bro. That's what I'm talking about, right? So, there's a reality of that. Right?
And Bobo is not playing about that fruit cup either.
He's getting that fruit cup.
Serious. He's serious.
He's getting that fruit cup. So for me, I want that online. I want to be able to play people, and that's the key.
Right. It's people. It's getting back into that arcade experience, but being able to do it at home, and that camaraderie and that rivalry and all that stuff that everybody has. Think about all the awesome promos that have been cut for people fighting on Put Your Quarters on the Glass. Think of what that has done. Think of how amazing all that has been.
I got 4 promos sent to me already. And it's Thursday, right? So tomorrow I usually get like 2 I get UAG will send me one at the last second 3 times on my stream. Hey, here's a revised. But like, dude, legit, man, like the promo game is insane out there. Kongs R Us took it to the next level last week with a rap video. What do you do? What do you do, bro? It's what you do is you watch this week and look at the promos that are coming out this week because the shit is on fire. I promise you. Like I've been seeing them, dude. It's the one good thing about being the guy behind the curtain is you get to see the promos before they drop.
Oh yeah,
and you see where it's coming. And you're like, oh my god, this shit is insane.
It's fire, and I can only imagine the types of promos that you'll get once Mortal Kombat comes. That's what I'm saying. Bro. I'm like sitting here like,
yeah,
I'm not a promo guy, but I'll cut a promo for Mortal Kombat because I'm confident in my abilities when it comes to that game. And it comes to that character. The soundtrack of the original live-action Mortal Kombat movie is biblical. I agree with that. And Console Fanboy guarantees that Sharon Peters has balls. Well, she has balls for the way she's talking tonight. I got to give her all the credit in the world for putting herself out there like that, because not a lot of people, male or female, would be talking the way Sharon is right now. I'll give her that. She does.
It's like she's pent up, man. She hasn't,
not to be
like she hasn't been out on stream. You know?
She's a guy. Let's see. We got I Can't Stop Laughing. Mike's comment was hilarious. Angela White says, "Oh my God, I know that lady."
You gotta get caught up, man. You're deep on
journalist.
The chat.
Yeah, I gotta get caught up because I'm like behind. This is okay.
It's been a good conversation, man. That's good.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm always behind on the chat though. That's my whole thing on a lot of my shows. And then they try to, once I start to get caught up, they purposely just start throwing out more messages, so I'll get behind again. Let's see. Angela, you are my favorite. Love, love, love your work. Let's see here. Oh my God. This is so funny.
You know, like I don't even like I can't even bother with the chats when I'm playing, right? Like my wife will put up the chats on the screen and I'll react to them if they're on the screen. But like the chat on the right-hand side of the screen, forget it, man. My brain is too focused when I'm doing my thing.
And Console Fanboy says, I never, ever, ever play my Big Blue offline. So bored playing the computer. Well, that's what I'm saying. You've got, and this is the point I'm making. You've got 1,000,001 ways to play these games. So really the only draw, well, the main draw is for online play. You're not going to buy a one-up Mortal Kombat cabinet for offline play. You've got 10 million ways to play Mortal Kombat. You're not, the only cabinet I could see, the only cabinet
for me, any of the fighting games, I wouldn't play any of them offline.
The only cabinet I could see where you might get it would be Killer Instinct, because Killer Instinct is so notoriously hard to emulate and hard to get right that you might buy a cabinet for Killer Instinct, even if you're just going to play it offline, because at least you're going to get good. Then at least you're getting an authentic experience, and you're based off of Twisted Chris and a lot of other people's reviews. It's an authenticity that you're getting that you're not that you're not getting anywhere else. Whereas a game like Mortal Kombat, you've got literally so many ways to play it. You can run Mortal Kombat on a potato. You won't have a problem. It's great.
You said on a potato, dude. It's true too, right? Like that's the other thing with a lot of the Street Fighter games and like the versus games. These things play on your cell phones now. So the only reason that makes them special is the idea that you have a community that you can play online and will be there and that will engage and will be a fun experience for you.
And with Mortal Kombat, there's going to be a ton of people that are always going to be playing this. This is going to be, I don't know what Arcade 1-Up's worldwide distribution network is like.
I think they're international, but I'm not sure like that they cover, I think international means like, of course, Canada and like probably some other spots over in Europe or something like that, or Korea. But I don't think they're going to Russia or they're going to,
I'd like to see them hit
South America,
hit Japan, and hit some other.
Yeah, I could see them being in some of those markets, right? Because the demand would be there, but I don't think they're hitting like Eastern Germany. Like I'd be shocked if I saw some like Arcade 1-Up in like Norway. I found it. It was at the IKEA. It was crazy.
Jan says, ZodWriter, I saw an article in a video game magazine that Raiden was just a dude in a bathrobe. Mortal Kombat was cool, but not behind the scenes. A dude in a bathrobe. That's so cool. Let's do a documentary. Raiden, the dude in the bathrobe, and you get the guy, and he's just talking about, all I did was put on a bathrobe and do a couple of kicks. And
it's true, dude. You got to think about like his poses too. Like it was easy poses for the guy. Yep, right. Dude, it was the best, man. I think the other thing to think about with Mortal Kombat too, man, that was one of the like 3 or 4 games at the time that were digitizing actors. We had that. We had Pit Fighter. You had Terminator 2.
You just mentioned a game that is near and dear to my heart, and I need to talk a little bit about it before you move on. Pit Fighter. Pit Fighter gets no love. I love that game. I used to play Pit Fighter in the arcades. I love Pit Fighter. Oh my God. That's a game I'd love to see.
You could lie to people. Nobody's going to be mad at you if you lie to people and never tell that story again. I promise.
Hey, listen, I got to be honest. I love Pit Fighter. I was disappointed when they canceled the sequel to Pit Fighter because they were going to do a sequel and they didn't. Pit Fighter 2. Release Pit Fighter 2. It was supposed to happen. My God, dude.
Hashtag free Pit Fighter 2.
Free Pit Fighter 2.
Oh man.
Oh
Yeah,
my
no,
God,
dude. It's good.
You didn't like
Dude,
Pit
he did
Fighter?
go up in
You didn't
Turbo
like Pit?
Joe's ass with that promo. You're
You
almost
didn't.
caught up here.
You didn't like Pit Fighter too? I mean, Pit Fighter. You
No,
weren't a Pit
man,
Fighter
not my
fan?
jam, bro. I remember it was just a quarter eater, right? Like, it was tough. I saw what they were going for, and I remember being
It
young
was.
and
It was the. But I kind of see it as like the birth of that, of like where Mortal Kombat eventually spawned from Pit Fighter.
I don't know about that, man. I mean,
Mortal
yeah,
Kombat
maybe
was essentially like the evolution of
the
digitized.
technology built on each other, but I think Pit Fighter, like in my mind, I see Pit Fighter more attuned to legitimately like one of the early wrestling games or UFC games. Like it's a 3D environment, or they're trying to get a 3D environment. There's no Street Fighter moves, there's no Mortal Kombat moves. You're fighting. You're legitimately fighting. It's not like you're throwing fireballs or disappearing and reappearing. It's like, no, I'm going to kick you, and I'm going to kick you into the crowd, and they're going to stab you in your kidney and push you back out to me while I'm punching you in the face. So like it was a legit fighting game. Like it wasn't a fighting game with magical powers. It was cool. Like it was one of the first ones like that.
This is a great question. Do kids nowadays still appreciate Mortal Kombat? I would have to say yes, especially
Sure.
when you look at the way Mortal Kombat is still going strong on consoles.
Selling like hotcakes.
I mean,
Yeah,
look
dude.
at how excited everybody was for like Mortal Kombat 11 and all the rumblings now of like the new Mortal Kombat game that's allegedly in development. This is Mortal Kombat's legacy is huge, and I think even the younger generation that didn't grow up with the original games can still have an appreciation for it.
Well, because they also have the movies and the cartoons.
Yeah.
So they
Yeah.
get into it in so many different angles. And especially, again, to our point, when was the last time you saw Street Fighter marketed on anything other than a video game? You just don't. And where Mortal Kombat, again, you see HBO premieres, you see toys. See, dude? See? I told you, man, you could just lie.
I'm not gonna say nothing else. I get it. Okay, guys, I'll leave that one. We'll put that one in the archives.
See, bro, nobody will be mad at you if you lie to people about that. We won't stop watching.
This is late night Q&A. Sometimes Zod gets a little bit too honest. I apologize.
There you go.
I'll walk that one back. Okay, people. I'll enjoy that in silence.
He meant Primal Rage.
Oh, now that's a game I absolutely hate. Oh,
that game was such dog shit.
You talk about a game that has no value whatsoever.
It's so bad.
It's got no value. I actually feel like Tron has more value than Primal Rage, but Tron just has value because at least it has like cultural significance. But Primal Rage, it's like, oh God, dude.
There was the worst.
You talk about a turd. You talk about a steaming turd that they tried to shine up and make into like a gold nugget. Oh my God, dude!
Dude, the amount of sheen that they
put on, the amount of sheen that they tried to put on that game.
Dude, that was in the back row of the arcade within a week. Like it came in, and everyone went Primal Rage, and then they played it, and they went, "This shit's garbage." And a week later, it was in the back row next to Bust a Move, dude. It was get the hell out of here. What did Sharon Peters do to her picture? Oh Lord!
Oh, this is somebody new. Sharon's Peter.
Sharon's Peter. Dude, what is wrong with people, man? There's like, this is, it takes all kinds.
Love you too, Zohar, man. I don't take anything personally, but I understand, dude. I'm like, hey, but we could talk about Primal Rage because Primal Rage was like the bane of the arcade's existence. They probably were like, well, gee, we made 50 cents on it this week. Move it to the bathroom,
bro. They said Street Fighter's buttons broke. Take them from Primal Rage. They're brand new, dude. Like they're barely used. Go ahead and just take them off of Primal Rage. Nobody will notice.
Any fighting game that has a fart as a move should not exist. I agree.
Dude, it was just, it was worse than that. It was like you would be right on top of them with like an armadillo attack, and it would go through them because the tail was where the hitbox was. So the whole tail would swipe through their body and it wouldn't hit them. And you'd be like, what the fuck is going on? And it was because the tail at the very tip had the hitbox and it was on the other side of the character. You're like, you broke dick motherfuckers produced this game on like $1.50 and threw this out to the market as fast as you could. It was absurd. It was terrible.
I think, if I'm not mistaken, I think it only got one home port, which was the 3DO.
Yeah. I mean, honestly,
I don't think it ever got anything else because I know some of these other ones, they at least got multiple ports, but like that game, they didn't even try to port that. It was like, no, wait.
3 weeks, it'll be on the iArcade. Relax, calm down. It'll be a 2-hour stream in the middle of the afternoon.
Oh, what about Earthquake from Samurai Showdown?
Love Earthquake from Samurai Showdown, bro. He does have a fart cloud.
But he had a fart cloud though.
Yep, and he would grab you and just ass face you too. That's my man right there, bro.
MK.
See, Zohar don't know. Zohar's a Mortal Kombat guy. You know, like he's like you.
Like me, a Mortal Kombat guy.
And you know who else is? I learned P-Dubs is a Mortal Kombat guy
Mortal
too.
Kombat. Yeah, he's apparently a good guy, a Mortal Kombat dude too. It's going to be so much fun to play.
It's going to be
Mortal Kombat on your show. Put your quarters on the glass. I am looking forward to it. I got to say, Nick, thank you so much for being here tonight. This has been a fantastic stream. It's been so much fun just chopping it up with you, talking about all this great stuff. We're sitting here tonight, and I feel like I've known you my whole life, man. This has been so much fun. It was an
easy conversation, man. It really was.
A very easy conversation to have. And honestly, we're not even arguing about plywood or anything. So we're still
Life's
saying
too short, bro.
Cool.
Life's too short. We got too much other good shit to talk about. You know what I'm saying?
But what I'd love for you to do is how would you, and this is just a question, if somebody asked you to mediate and do commentary on an argument of two YouTubers arguing about plywood, how would you call that match? If it was just an argument where they were like, where you're like, he's going for the 2x4, but he mentions the MDF.
Yeah, no, I think
it's a sawdust move.
I can't remember the phrase, man. They said never argue with an idiot because they're going to drag you down to their level and beat you a million times because they're practice, right? So like anytime I see these kind of, and don't get me wrong, again, I'm not saying I'm above the fray. I fall short all the time, every day in my life, man. But when I see these personality conflicts, I try to avoid them. I really do. Like I don't watch the videos. Like and I see what they are, and I'm like, fuck. Like it just feeds fire, or it gives oxygen to a fire. It's
always great to be positive and be happy.
Right, it's easier.
And spread that positivity. And that's what I'm trying to do.
Let's be real. Do I really want to be another fat white guy on the internet that's angry? Like, isn't there enough fat old white guys on the internet that are angry?
Yeah, you don't want to be that. And I give you, to your credit, man, you have tried to exemplify positivity on Put Your Quarters in the Glass, and you've done a great job with it. And that's why I'm saying I cannot wait to join the fighting community, dude. I'm just waiting for Mortal Kombat Online. I'm not trying to embarrass myself. This is the thing. It's like honestly, you have, everybody has that one game that they think they're good at, but then like you said, then they meet somebody who's way better than them, and they realize they are not good at it, and it's gonna happen to me. But I can honestly say that if it's Mortal Kombat, I'm more open to it, because at least I know what Mortal Kombat, I'm good at it and I can get better. So that's the whole point. It's Mortal Kombat. I even have the Mortal Kombat home pregnancy kit. Okay, well, Sharon Peters says, bye everyone. Keep it real, but most importantly, keep it shaved.
Hey,
Sharon,
Sharon,
you are 100% correct. This is the comment of the night. We're going to go ahead.
No. Most importantly, Sharon, you keep it tight.
Well, that too, but keeping it shaved, there's something to be said about that. I mean,
I like a clean dinner plate. I like a clean dinner plate.
Always do, Sharon. Everybody loves Sharon Peters. She's amazing.
Oh man,
Always amazing stream, y'all. F all the trolls. Yeah, we're definitely trying to keep it positive. I'm trying to keep it positive. Rev is doing amazing stuff. And definitely, if you haven't subscribed yet to Put Your Quarters on the Glass, please do so. Rev deserves more subs, bro. I wish you all the success in the world. You're great. I look forward to jumping on when the Mortal Kombat online becomes.
I'm looking forward to you being there, my friend. It'll be a lot of fun.
I'm definitely gonna be there. And and next week on Late Night Q&A with ZodWriter, I have Twisted Chris from Twisted Gaming TV. So we know that will be a real conversation. That'll be another pretty dope discussion.
You bring up MDF with Twisted Chris, and you'll have 2 hours of MDF conversation, I'm sure.
It's gonna be fantastic. I'm telling you right now, I live for these kinds of conversations where we can just talk about anything.
Let me ask you this though, bro. So we go to the future state, Mortal Kombat Online. Who's the first YouTuber that you're calling out to beat their ass? Who is it?
I don't even know. Right?
Is it Console Fanboy? Is it ZodWriter versus Console Fanboy first?
I don't know, man. I think that ZodWriter and Console Fanboy should become a tag team. Because we've got all these groups that are like the NWO, and you got all these people talking all their mess. But I think if you team up Console Fanboy with ZodWriter as a Mortal Kombat tag team, I think that will be a force to be reckoned with. And I'm not
the Legion of Doom for Mortal Kombat, bro.
I'm not talking about, and I don't think I'm speaking out of turn here, because we know that Mortal Kombat is Zohar's game. And I'm telling you that it's my game too.
Dude, he's no slouch in Street Fighter. He's got fundamentals in Street Fighter that are respectable. He does.
And Console Fanboy points it out right here. Zod, you and I should take turns destroying P-dubs. I'm down. I think P-dubs will be the first guy we call out, because let's be honest. That's what it is, man. Put Your Quarters on the Glass can look forward to the Console Fanboy ZodWriter tag team for Mortal Kombat, because that's going to be huge. That's going to be huge.
I'll make a badass thumbnail for you guys. I promise.
We're not only are we gonna do that, we're gonna go and we're gonna cut some of the best promos. I mean, you think the NWO is putting out all these promos? Could you imagine? I'm just saying,
it's gonna be dope, man.
It's gonna be dope. It's gonna be dope. I like it. So let's see. Zod get a Manscaped endorsement. You know what? There were a few YouTubers out there who did the Manscaped thing, and it didn't work out too well for them on YouTube. So I'm gonna just leave that that's a nice comment, but I don't think it's necessary. Console Fanboy says, I will be honored to fight alongside you. Console Fanboy, it's done. We're gonna be a tag team, guaranteed. And he says, I have 5 promos already done for Mortal Kombat. You see? I
believe it.
So yeah, Put Your Quarters on the Glass. I cannot wait. Thank you, everybody, for being here. You guys are all awesome. I appreciate all of you who dropped in and stopped by to comment and say whatever you needed to say. Rev, thank you so much. And I'll be back, man. I got tomorrow night. I'm starting a new show where I talk with. I have a co-host, Ashley. We're going to be breaking down the Marvel movie Eternals. That should be a fun show. We're doing weekly comics.
Dude, why are you doing that tomorrow? Shit, I love that kind of show, dude. I'm streaming tomorrow, and I want to watch your stream.
What time are you streaming, though?
I go 9 p.m. Central, bro.
9 p.m. Central. Oh,
that's when the Waffle House opens.
Yeah, that's when the Waffle House. That's when the Waffle House opens. Okay, man. Well, we'll see. We'll see what we can do. I don't know, man.
Replay, I promise you. I just watched Eternals.
What I'm gonna do
for 2 hours.
What I'm gonna do. I'm gonna do. We'll do it. And
do your stream.
after that stream, after that stream is over, I'm gonna be jumping right over to the Waffle House because I know you'll be still going.
Yeah, you do your thing, bro. I'm looking forward. Eternals, bro. I just watched that too. I was like, how do I feel about that?
Yeah, I'm in your shoes right now, so that'll be fun. But it's called Weekly Comic Book Movies, and I just break down.
Is this the channel?
Just take it's going to be on here. Yeah, it's going to be on.
On the ZodWriter channel. Okay, cool. I didn't know if you started a new channel. So that's perfect.
We didn't start a new channel. It's just going to be a new show that we're going to do.
I like it.
And
I like it, dude.
And we're going to basically just take whatever comic book movie, whether it's a Marvel, DC, or just random comic book movie. We're going to take one movie a week and break it down. And that's what
I love it.
And tomorrow will be Eternals.
Right,
but yeah, I will definitely be at the Waffle House when that show is over because I love to put my quarters on the glass. And once Mortal Kombat goes online, you can guarantee I will be there. And Mike says, Zod, you're a good dude. Rev is a boss. Thanks, gentlemen. Thank you. Thank you, everybody. This is so amazing. One of your best shows, Zod. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. All right, everybody. Me and Rev are out of here. Everybody have a great night. Remember to subscribe to Put Your Quarters on the Glass and stay gaming. I'll see you guys later. Good night, everybody.